Hey guys, welcome to our Facebook Live and also streaming on YouTube as well as Instagram. Sorry for the little bit of a delay, having some technical difficulties, but hopefully we got that all figured out. Thank you all for joining us. Just before we get started, make sure that everything is set up correctly. Let me know just in a quick thumbs up or a quick comment down below, and just let me know if the stream is working fine and you can hear and see me okay. So before we kind of jump in with some announcements and get started with the live stream. So for those of you that are just joining us, what we typically do for on a monthly basis, I spend about an hour of my time here and go through any questions you guys might have about the apparel decoration industry in general, or any specific challenges that you're having in your business that I can help you answer, and hopefully that can help you kind of overcome those challenges and kind of propel your business to the next level. Or if you're just getting started in whether it's the embroidery business or DTG or printing business in general, any tips or tricks that you might want to know in terms of what are ways to get started, we would be glad to answer those questions as well. It's really kind of open-ended as to how you want to take this. And it's really interactive and kind of based on the kind of topics that you want to hear about. All right, so we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as on Instagram. So I will be checking the Instagram feed on my phone here. So if you see me checking on my phone, that's for Instagram, and then you can type in your questions or comments in any of the live feeds that we have on either of these three platforms. Okay. All right. Before we kind of get started, if everything it looks good, I'm seeing some thumbs up here that all is good with the audio and video. And before we kind of get started, I just wanted to kind of make a couple of quick announcements. We are starting. We have already started our Black November sale. So this is the second time ever we've done a Black November sale. So it will go on for the entire month of November. We started that, I believe, last Friday, and have just been overwhelmed with inquiries and people kind of looking to get started with either an embroidery machine, a DTG printer, or a white toner transfer printer, the Luminaris 200 package. So kind of wanted to kind of quickly break down some of the promos that we have. So if you're interested to check out any of those, make sure you kind of get in touch with our team. But essentially, on the embroidery side, we are offering 0% financing for as low as $125 a month. So the price have actually decreased, and to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, when everything else is going up in price, the fact that we're lowering the price just for this month is very against the norm. So I do hope that you take advantage of that. We're also offering free shipping as well as a free upgrade to Chroma Plus digitizing software. So a free upgrade to the next tier of Chroma digitizing software if you get a single head machine, and you get Chroma Lux, the highest tier of digitizing software, included with your purchase if you purchase a multi-head machine. Now the way that, just so you guys know, the way that we have structured all of our Black Friday or Black November sales, I should say, is in phases. Okay, so we want to incentivize and reward those people that are kind of wanting to get in early and kind of get things locked in as early as possible. So the incentives in terms of the discounts and the free shipping and all the upgrades, different add-ons that you have into the package is going to be the most value and the heaviest discounts in the first phase of the promotion. Once it gets into phase 2 and phase 3, the discounts start to get less and less. You'll still get some discounts, but if you want the most bang for your buck, I would really encourage you to get in early and get in on that first phase. As you can see there, you can already see in those three phases what the prices are going to be. So prices are going to go up, and as you wait longer and longer, some of the savings, not only in terms of the price but also some of the perks of like free upgrades and things like that, will start to go away. And so I would really encourage you to take advantage of the earliest phases and the early birds as soon as possible, because that's where you'll get the maximum savings. And that the first phase will expire 6 days from now. I believe next Wednesday is the last day for the first phase, and then the system will automatically update all the prices to the next phase. So make sure you check that out if you're interested. That's on the embroidery side. I want to quickly touch base on the DTG side as well. For direct-to-garment printers, we are offering as low as $235 per month on the printers, also with 0% financing and free shipping, and you get an extra set of ink cartridges. So that's something new. We want to, ink is probably one of the most consumed consumables on the DTG printer. So we're giving you an extra set of ink so that you can have, an extra, essentially, month of supply for you to kind of print through your holiday orders and your holiday t-shirts, so that you can kind of not have to worry about reordering and maybe getting it back ordered, not getting it, not getting any ink on time, etc., etc. We're giving you an extra set of ink, as well as all the tools that you'll need to maintain your machine. So including cleaning applicators and cleaning cartridges. So if you're, not only are we giving you all the stuff about with an extra set of ink cartridges, we're also giving you cleaning cartridges, and also I believe an extra set of pre-treat liquid as well. So not only all the tools to kind of help you print your shirts, but also all the supplies for you to maintain your machine, or if you ever kind of want to put it idle, maybe you go on vacation at the end of the holidays, you have the cleaning cartridges and the cleaning applicators to maintain your machine on a regular basis, as well as put it in cleaning mode and storage mode if you ever go on vacation towards the end of this holiday rush. So we kind of already thought about a lot of the things in mind to make sure that you have all the bases covered. And so that's where the early bird savings are going to come in. And then if you miss that, then kind of some of those savings go away in terms of the extra ink cartridges, as well as the cleaning supplies. Those alone are an extra like $800-900 in terms of value, both the extra set of ink as well as the cleaning cartridges. All right, and of course the extra pre-treat as well, so that you can pre-treat your shirts. That's a necessary step in the DTG process. And last but not least, on the white toner transfer printers, we are having a sale on that as well. So we've extended the terms of the payments. So payments have dropped significantly from about like $95 to now as low as $70 per month. So we've extended the length of the terms, that you have smaller monthly payments. I believe it is for 60 months. We've also dropped the machine prices slightly and the packages prices slightly, and they will go up over time as well, as I mentioned before, in the 3 phases. So that's the first phase will be the most savings you'll get, which is 0% for $70 per month, which is very, very low, and you get free shipping with that as well. And then you'll see that the prices will also go up as time expires, and the first phase will also expire next Wednesday. So do get in touch with our team if you're interested in that as well. We've already had plenty of orders with the white toner transfer printer, so if you're interested in that, make sure you get in touch with our team. And as you can see on the screen there, the longer you wait, the higher the monthly payments are going to go up, which means the machine prices are going up, as well as you lose some of the the perks along with it as well. All right, and last but not least, there's actually a couple of more things, but we also, for those of you that are attending this live stream, whether you're attending it on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Instagram, you're actually the first one and probably the only ones to get notified of a flash sale that we're having as well. So the flash sale is only going to last 24 hours. So I wanted to announce this at the beginning of the live stream, so you guys have plenty of time, between now and 2 p.m. tomorrow to get in on this flash sale. So the way that the flash sale works is everything on or most things on shop.RIcoma.com is going to have a percentage discount via a coupon code. So you can either use RIC10, RIC10, or RIC20, RIC20 for certain types of products, and you can get either 10% off or 20% off on those select products. So for example, the code RIC10 will apply for any heat press, any vinyl cutters, and any sewing machines, and the code RIC20 will apply for any chroma upgrade upgrades, and other embroidery accessories that's manufactured by RIcoma, such as the belt hoop, the 8-in-1, the robot frame, and things like that. So you're able to get 20% off for those upgrades and add-ons that if you want to get those, or if you want to get a heat press or vinyl cutter or any sewing machines, you can use the code RIC10 for 10% off on those equipment as well for 24 hours only. So those two codes will expire by 2 p.m. tomorrow. So you guys are the first ones to know about this flash sale. So this is kind of an added extra perk that we wanted to give for viewers on this live stream, as well as just to, you know, in the holiday mood as we kick off our Black November sale as well. This is kind of we'll be kind of sprinkling these flash sales kind of throughout the month, and so do stay tuned for that. Follow us on our social media channels to be aware of these flash sales. They don't come around often. In fact, you know, 20% off of a chroma upgrade. Many people have kind of, you know, really looked for a chroma upgrade for a long time, and this is really, you know, you have 24 hours to really get in on that, and that can save you, you know, hundreds of dollars. You know, to put it into perspective, a chroma upgrade to the next tier is around $700. If you want to upgrade 2 tiers up, it's $1,400. So it can either save you like what is that? Either save you like $140 or upwards of $280 on your upgrade. So that's quite a sizable chunk of savings there, and you can put that, you know, those savings towards extra supplies or any other equipment that you might want to buy for the holiday season. Okay, so that's the flash sale. So make sure to use the code RIC10 and RIC20 on the shop on those select products. You can either get 10% off or 20% off depending on what product you're putting the code for. And last but not least, this is the final announcement before we get into kind of the Q&A here. We do have a giveaway for today's live stream. We are giving away a Mighty Hoop starter kit. So that's over $540 worth of value. It is valued at I believe $541. So we are giving that away to one lucky winner on this live stream, either from Facebook, on YouTube, or on Instagram. And you know, thanks to our sponsor at over at Mighty Hoops. They were kind enough to sponsor one Mighty Hoop starter kit. So that's, you know, over $500 of value, and we'll be giving that away to one lucky winner. So you have, you know, you can get the set where you can really get started with hooping things on a consistent basis, as well as get one magnetic hoop, which is I believe 5.5 inches. So you can really do those left chest logos on any polo shirts or any button-down shirts in a consistent manner. So we'll be announcing that giveaway at the end of the live stream. All right, so stay tuned for that. And with that said, I kind of wanted to jump into some of the questions that you guys might have. Feel free to chime in any of the comment section below, whether you're on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Instagram. I'll kind of be jumping back and forth between the three platforms just to check in on like who has questions, and we can pick out questions that way. And then as people ask those questions, we'll also be, you know, try to put some of those questions on the screen so other people can follow along, and maybe you have the same question and you can see kind of, you know, what your peers are asking and learn from your peers as well. All right. So with that said, I'm going to kind of go through on Facebook first. All right. So Skylar Venture says, what a great sale. I'm copying today, contacting my man Javier in sales. Great. Yes, definitely get in touch. And again, for those of you that are just joining us, the first phase of our Black November promo is going to be the most savings you're going to get. The longer you wait, the savings start to go away. So you know, in the past, we've usually just done like, you know, Black Friday, as most people do. But that only lasts about a week or two. So, but this year we decided to do an entire month worth of sales, but, you know, to incentivize people to get in earlier rather than wait till last minute. Also because of you know, supply constraints, there's just not enough machines to go around. I would really encourage you to get in earlier, or else you might have to wait till like December to get your machine and beyond, and that can affect your holiday orders. So if you're really looking to get started, you know, I would really kind of look at that and get in as early as possible, not only because you get the most savings, but because you can get your machine sooner and prepare for the holiday rush, and that way kind of earn some profit that way. Yeah, unfortunately, the Mighty Hoops are not for are not part of the flash sale. Um, you know, they never go on sale really. So when Mighty Hoops don't put them on sale, we don't really put them on sale. So unfortunately, on the shop for the flash sale, it's not. Those won't be the products that are included in that flash sale, but pretty much everything else is like the heat presses and chroma upgrades and everything else. So RIC 10 and RIC 20, RIC 10, RIC 20, those are the two coupon codes, either for 10% off or 20% off on certain products. If you try to put in like RIC 20 for a product that's only 10% off, the code won't work. So just make sure you put it into the right product. It will tell you, and then you can get 10%, either 10% off or 20% off on those products for the next 24 hours only. So they will expire. The code will expire at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Paula Lung Cresley asked, is tech support free on a pre-owned MT1501 not purchased from RIcoma? So yes, the tech support is free for the lifetime of the machine. You're welcome to call us and ask any questions, but the warranty is not transferable. So if because we don't know the state of the machine that you purchased it pre-owned at, we can't guarantee any sort of warranty on it. But the tech support is free. If you have any questions and things like that, you can contact us. But if you have a part that needs to be replaced, that's not covered under warranty. Question from Biddy Bling. When do you think the hat supply issue will level out? I wish I had a crystal ball into the future, Biddy, but I think the general sense is the supply chain issues will continue to happen, throughout the rest of this year for sure. Especially during the holiday season when people are ramping up on placing their holiday orders and shopping, and so it's probably going to go on through the rest of the year, and you might see it kind of get to a normal level probably sometime around the middle of next year. I think that's at least the general consensus of how things is gonna pan out. Randy Bell asked, I was interested in the Luminaris 200, but I already have a heat press. Would the cost be different? I would speak with your sales rep about that. They would know more details about, if you want to just buy a la carte, not have the package. Although it's recommended that you have the package, given that not only does it have the heat press, it has the paper that you'll need as to do the transfers onto. So, the heat press is only a part of it. So I would recommend speaking with your sales rep, and they can give you the details on that. But like I mentioned, the Luminaris 200 has also dropped in price. Again, with everything else, with inflation, everything else going up in price, the fact that we're dropping prices is very rare, and that's why we're not going to do this for long and only for this entire month. And as you slowly get through the month, the prices are going to go back up. So I would definitely contact your sales rep and get in on those as quickly as possible. Harriet Jones asks, "What's the benefits of Luminaris 200 versus heat press?" So, I don't know really how to answer that question because I think you're asking the wrong question. You will need a heat press to use the Luminaris 200. So, the the printer is a white toner transfer printer. It prints onto a transparent sheet of paper, and then you transfer that onto an adhesive sheet of paper, and then finally you transfer that using a heat press onto your garment. So it's a two-step heat transfer process, and by definition you will need a heat press to make this process work. So they're meant to work in conjunction and not kind of they won't be able to work separately without each other. Like with a heat press, if you don't have anything to press, the heat press is kind of useless. And for the white toner transfer printer, you will need a heat press to be able to actually apply heat so that the transfer can be applied properly. So they will need to work in conjunction, and that's why it's kind of one single package. So Luis Zamudio asks, when I first got my 1501 TC, I would add designs into one folder. I want to get more organized. Can I connect via Ethernet to add or remove and organize my designs into different folders in the machine memory? So unfortunately, you won't be able to do that. With you can connect your machine to the computer via Ethernet, but it's mainly to transfer designs. It's not it doesn't have functionality. When you connect it to Ethernet to kind of reorganize your folders in your machine panel that way. So that is something that we'll probably look into in the future as a feature. But connecting via Ethernet is mainly to transfer designs without the need of a USB, not so much to kind of reorganize your folders and reorganize your files or add or delete files that way. Skylar Rencher asked, what's the average learning curve time to learn machine embroidery? So great question, Skylar. I actually have a full-blown video on YouTube talking about the learning curve. And so if you want a kind of more of an in-depth answer, I would encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out that video there. But essentially, to give you the short version of the answer, it's essentially what we've seen on average, right? People that have no prior experience in embroidery, probably about a 3-month time frame. If you have no prior experience in either sewing or embroidery or apparel decoration in general, and just starting from zero, probably it'll take you 3 months to really get comfortable with your machine. Now that could be longer, that could be shorter, because it also depends on your learning capabilities and also the time that you have to dedicate to learning this, right? What we're giving is just on average. Some people could take longer because they might work a full-time job and only do this like an hour a day, and so if you only kind of learn this an hour a day, probably will take you a lot longer to learn. But also on the flip side, if you're a quick learner and you dedicate a lot of time to it, this time frame could also be a lot shorter. People can learn this in a couple of weeks or a month or two, right? That all depends. So each individual circumstance is different, but on average, we've seen people starting out with no experience, probably about a 3-month time frame, and that can also be shorter if you have prior experience. If you have maybe used a single needle embroidery machine in the past, or you've done some kind of sewing. All of those are prior experiences that can transfer over to kind of climbing the learning curve for embroidery, and that can shorten the time frame that you take to ramp up. But the 3-month average is really for people that have no experience, and what we've seen as the kind of standard time frame on average for an individual learning embroidery from scratch, and that could be shorter or longer depending on your individual circumstance. Hidred Samuel says, I am interested in getting a RIcoma embroidery machine for startup. Great. I would definitely, this will be the right time to go forward with it if you're interested to kind of get started, especially with the Black November promo that's going on. You get a lot of savings that way. So do get in touch with our team, and they'll be more than happy to help you out and guide you to the right machine that can fit your needs. Randy Bell says, I can say that the colors from Luminaris are more colorful, especially on dark garments. Great to hear that, and also that's what it's meant to do, right? Like white toner transfer printer is meant to be able to print these full color vibrant designs, full front of the t-shirt, kind of like the one that I have on here. Obviously this is not transfer. This is probably this is probably on a DTG actually. The way that's done, because with screen printing probably very difficult to do kind of this kind of design, especially with so many colors and so many shades. So this is probably easier to be done on a DTG printer, and by the feel of it, it feels like that it was done on a direct to garment printer. And yeah, it's meant to really print on light or dark garments. So especially if you're using white toner transfer, you can really transfer onto any surface depending on it. The real limitation is what heat presses you have, right? Like if you want to transfer onto a cap, you can do that, provided you have a cap press. You can transfer onto like plates, if you have a plate press. If you can transfer onto like soccer balls, if you have like a ball press. So like depending on what, and also on mugs too, if you have a mug press. So really the limitation is really on kind of what the type of heat presses you have, less so on what type of surfaces you can transfer onto. As long as you can place the item under a heat press, you can use the white toner transfer printer and transfer it on there. Nicole Atwood says, hi, I just purchased a 10 needle embroidery machine. Still waiting for it to get here, but what would be some good advice for a beginner to learn first? So first and foremost, I would probably understand and look at your pre-training that is part of the onboarding process when you buy a new machine, knowing the terminology of like what's a bobbin, where do the threads go, how to thread the machine. All of that you can watch videos on as part of your pre-training prerequisite before you can schedule your live training. So a lot of that teaches you the terminology of different parts of the machine, what to look out for, and make sure that your machine is set up properly once it arrives, so that you can schedule your training that way. Other things that I would really kind of try to understand is the other thing is probably your pricing, like determining your pricing before you start to take on orders and before your machine arrives, so that you can actually know how to price your services, how to charge your customers, what to look for. Knowing how much time it takes to do certain items will help you price your items accordingly and not underprice and kind of maximize your revenue with the time that you're spending. So I think those two are the first two things: knowing your pricing, and just knowing the basics of your machine. That way you're prepared for the live training when you get there, when your machine is actually at your house and you're setting it up. So that go through some of the pre-training videos, watch those videos, and try to consume as much information and knowledge as possible before your machine gets there. And make sure you watch the videos on the pricing and how to price your items and tweak it to your circumstance, so that you can maybe even have a price sheet ready to take on orders once you kind of go through your training and feel comfortable with how to use your machine. Damon Gibson says, is patches better than embroidering on the actual garment? So it really depends. Patches obviously have a different look, and so when they have a different look, it's you're really comparing apples to oranges, right? But if you're talking about time that it takes, think about like a patch that has a huge background, right? If you embroider that whole background onto the if you embroider the whole background onto the garment, it might take longer. It may take more thread, and it's gonna run for a lot longer because you're filling in the entire space, right? With a patch, you're kind of like filling that space with a patch. It's much quicker. So you can think about it that way, either using applique or patches. It can fill up an entire area much faster using a patch rather than kind of embroidering a fill stitch on the background. So it is a time saver in some ways, but it's also just overall a different look and feel. And so people sometimes like that kind of vintage look with the patches, and that's making obviously a big comeback, whether it's on caps or on jackets and things like that. So sometimes people just want that look rather than kind of a time saving thing. But you can also think of it as an efficiency thing when you're embroidering like over a big area, and the patch can kind of cover that area in a much quicker way, or using applique as well. Chad Bach says, hoping to order an embroidery machine soon. Great. That's good to hear. All right, let me jump over to YouTube a little bit and see if we have any questions here. Angelisa says, I'm seriously consider this line of products. So glad to see exactly what each one does, so I can make an informed decision. Of course, and if you need more information, contact our sales team, and they'll be able to kind of help guide you to the right machine, depending on your budget and what your needs are and what you're looking to do. Fabulous is 332 says, will there be a Deco Summit next year? Yes, it definitely will be. We're looking at probably later next year, so around this time next year, so probably in the third or fourth quarter of next year. It's gonna be here in Miami, Florida. So we still have about a year until that happens, and hopefully by then the pandemic and everything else kind of really dies down, and everyone can gather for different events again. Unique for You LLC says, in order to get financing, what does the credit score need to be? So This is a question that we get asked a lot, and unfortunately, there's just no, cookie cutter answer to answer that, because um, we have several different financing options, right? You have kind of your 0% financing option with your personal credit. We also have a financing option for lower credit scores. We also have business financing. So if you don't have a solid enough of a personal credit score, but if you already have an established business or an LLC, they can do business financing. So there's 3 or 4 different ways for you to get financed. The best way to kind of move forward with it is to talk to a rep and actually understand the kind of what are your options. I kind of just laid out the 2 or 3 options for you. We can try for the we typically encourage you to try for the 0% financing first, and just apply. Because what's better than zero interest, right? So you can try for that first, and if you don't get the full amount, or whatever the case is, you can try the other methods. We can either supplement that with kind of the lower credit financing route, which does have an interest rate, but you can kind of fill the gap there, or use your business financing for either the entire amount, or to fill the gap in any financing that you weren't able to get at 0%. So it really depends, right? It really depends on your credit score, but obviously the higher credit scores you have, the more likely chance of being approved. But that's not to say that if your credit score isn't that great, that there aren't other options. And we've gotten plenty of people, hundreds of people financed with these other options that are tailored towards lower credit scores, that can still get you into a machine and help you get started, and therefore start making money. T-Town Shirts asks, how long does it take to ship after ordered, and for an embroidery machine? So great question. It depends on the model that you're ordering, because some models are in stock, some models are out of stock, and maybe coming in the next couple of weeks. So it all depends on inventory statuses. And we have this huge queue list of just customers that have placed their order and are in this queue, right? Like, it's on a first come first serve basis, which is again why I encourage people to get in as early as possible, because the more you wait, the more people are going to be in line, and we have already seen orders being stacked up and piled up, so that people have to wait until the orders that are before them are fulfilled, until they get their machine. So right now, the wait for models that are in stock is probably about 2 to 3 weeks, until it ships. So depending on which model, if they're in stock, about 2 to 3 weeks of lead time to have it ship, and then depending on where you are, maybe another week or so to get to you. So all in all, probably a month to a little bit over a month to get a machine to your door. That's for stuff that's in stock. So for stuff that's out of stock, we also have a huge list of ETAs. If you place an order for a machine that's out of stock, when they're estimated to arrive at the port, and therefore an estimated time to get it shipped out to you. So they have to first arrive at the port, and then arrive at our warehouse. We have to prep it, and then we ship it out to you. So for things that are in stock, 2 to 3 weeks to get it to ship, right? Ship out the door. For things that are not in stock, depending on where they are in the supply chain, either they can be on a ship, they can be at the dock, or it could be just unloaded into our warehouse. So it all depends. But your sales rep would get the most up-to-date information on that. So I would encourage you to talk to them and to see kind of which machine you're looking to order, and what's the lead time there. But in general, for things that are in stock, about 2 to 3 weeks to ship out. Oh, and for the DTG machines, we have those in stock. And not only do we have them in stock, we can ship them out probably in about, like, the turnaround time probably about 4 to 5 days. So for DTGs is quite quick. For the embroidery machines, we have to kind of prep them and things like that. So that will take a little bit longer to prep, and because there's a queue in there as well. But for DTG right now, it's about 4 to 5 days turnaround time. Swayze Guap says, lower the price of Lux. Yeah, so it is, as I mentioned, part of the flash sale. If you use the code RIC20, for Chroma Lux, you get 20% off on the upgrade. So if you already have Chroma Inspire and looking to upgrade to Lux, you get 20% off on the upgrade. So you know, that's only available for the next 24 hours. So if you're looking to, that is lowering the price of Lux. So if you're looking to get into that, make sure you you know, buy that on the shop as soon as possible. Ken BLK WRK says, "How can I buy a RIcoma machine directly from you? Sorry, to Canada." Okay, so you can buy that machine from us to Canada. Yes, of course. Just get in touch with our team. We have a specialist, a rep that's dedicated to handling the Canada region. So depending on where you are, we can either refer you to a distributor that's in the area or help you get connected and therefore get a machine to you. So that's not a problem at all. We sell plenty of machines to Canada. So if you're interested, just get in touch with us, contact our team, and your inquiry will be handled by someone that's specialized in that area. Eric Bangudi says, "How can I buy RIcoma from Africa? How can I have training and support?" So we have distributors and dealers that are available in Africa throughout different regions and countries, and they provide not only the machine but the training and support. So get in touch with our team, fill out a contact form on our website, and your inquiry is going to be redirected to the overseas team that handles that region, so they can put you in touch with the right distributor. T. Rodriguez says, "Is that the new 20 needle behind you?" Yes, that is the 20 needle that's right behind me over here. We've used that in some of our videos, as well as a lot of people have ordered not only the 20 needle single head, but also the 2 head and the 3 head that is available. So that is the 20 needle. If you're interested in that product, you know, make sure to get in touch with our team, and they can explain to you some of the benefits and the differences. But you can, you know, just to kind of summarize, you do get the 8S control panel. So it is a larger control panel, and it has Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi compatible as well. And at the same time, you also get it's a revamped tension system, so you have an extra set of tension knobs for better control over your tension, as well as the tension knobs have a spring plus wheel system, so it's changed a little bit so that it's better control and better sensing when there is a thread break. That, along with the fact that it has 20 needles, obviously you can do more colors, but also, you know, preset your different ranges of needles for different types of embroidery. Maybe, you know, sharp point, ballpoint needles, smaller threads, and things like that. You know, thinner threads or smaller needles for different types of embroidery, and you can preset, essentially turn your 20 needle machine into like 4 or 5 needle machines, right? So you can divide them up and have it preset, so you don't have to change out needles all the time. Okay. T-Town Shirt says, "Is the EM1010 a good one for hats if you're doing, say, 25 at a time?" It is, you know, it can definitely do hats. I will say that if hats is your main thing, though, I would go up to a 15 needle. Why? Because the EM1010 it's a smaller compact machine, right? So the embroidery area is not that large. So you can't really do kind of the front of the cap and the sides of the cap in one go. You can only do about eyebrow to eyebrow, versus the 15 needle machines and the commercial machines can do from ear to ear. So, you know, a much wider range of an embroidery area. And that helps if you're especially doing kind of the front of caps and the side of caps at the same time, so that you can do it in one run and not have to do it in like 2 separate runs and have to rehoop. That's going to save you a lot of time doing that. So the embroidery area is just larger on the 15 needle commercial single heads. So if hats is your thing and that's what you're looking to focus on, I would recommend going with at least a 15 needle machine, either the TC 1501 or the MT 1501. Mary Cope asked, are there separate sets or different ways to purchase the Mighty Hoops if a person wanted to convert to using only Mighty Hoops? So, from my understanding, for the Mighty Hoops, for the Mighty Hoop station, you need to have the station, as well as you need to buy different brackets for different hoops. So, if you want to just use Mighty Hoops, I would invest in the Hoop Master, which is the station, and then you need to invest in different brackets for each size of hoops that you're gonna get from Mighty Hoops. Mother03 says, I would recommend, if you can get the 1501, if you can to look ahead. The upgrade is affordable from the 1010 versus other machines out there. So great comment there. That's kind of what I mentioned before regarding the hats. If you're really looking to do hats, I would upgrade to the 15 needle. If you're just kind of starting out on a limited budget and you're just looking to do some flats and some small sample items and things like that, just as a hobby, probably the 10 needle machine will be sufficient. Not that it can't do hats, it absolutely can, but the embroidery area is just not as big, and this functionality is not as robust as a 15 needle. So if you're looking to kind of do a lot of caps, just for the embroidery area and the size of it, I would go with a 15 needle machine. So here's a question from Sign Creations. Great question from Sign Creations on YouTube. If you have already purchased a machine with the 6-year 0% financing, can you add accessories like heat press or magnetic hoops afterwards as part of the financing? So great question there, and the answer to that is you can absolutely use 0% financing afterwards to purchase your add-ons and hoops and heat presses and things like that, but it's not going to be at 6 years financing. It's only going to be at the same term of financing at the time of your machine purchase. So say you purchase an embroidery machine, you purchase a DTG printer or whatever the case is, and you want to add on all these accessories at the time of that purchase, it's all going to be lumped into that overall term, the 72 months or the 60 months, right? But if you purchase it afterwards, say like a week after or a month after, or several months after, right? Like that's going to be at a different term. It could be 12 months, it could be 6 months, depending on the size of your purchase, depending on the dollar amount. But it's not going to be at the 6 years. That's only available when you kind of buy those add-ons along with your initial machine purchase. That's one of the incentives to make sure that you kind of add on all those other things at the time of purchase rather than waiting till later, because the financing terms are not going to be the same. So great question there, and if you're thinking about doing that, make sure you kind of try to front load it at the time of your purchase. But if you have already purchased it, as you mentioned in your question, then you can still use 0% financing with the card that you have approved and the credit amount that you have on that card. But just know that it's not going to be at 72 months. It's going to be at a shorter term, like 6 or 12 months, depending on kind of the size of your add-on purchase. Press to Impress LLC says, I received my MT2002 8S in September. It's great. Great. I tuned in late. What is the promo code for the 20% off sale? I don't see anywhere on the RIcoma site. Okay, great. So the flash sale, again, for those of you that are just joining us, it's going to be for 24 hours. So it's going to end tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. And the codes are RIC10 and RIC20. We're going to put it up on the screen right now, just so you guys can see that again. For those of you that have missed it, because I got a few of you that are asking for that, and just make sure that it's RIC20 and RIC10, not RICK20. Okay, so someone said below is RICK20, so make sure we put that up on the screen and you guys can take a look. But it's actually going to be for 24 hours, and it's going to last till 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and it's going to be RIC10 for 10% off any heat presses, vinyl cutters, and any sewing machines. RIC20 for 20% off any chroma upgrades and embroidery accessories such as robot frame, the belt hoop, and an 8-in-1, anything that's manufactured by RIcoma. All right, so RIC10 and RIC20. Okay. T. Rodriguez says, thinking of upgrading to a 2-head or 4-head. Great. We do have a trade-in program. If you contact your account coordinator, they can help you kind of get a trade-in value for it. I would always recommend keeping a single head and a multi-head around so that you can run your multi-heads for bulk orders and these larger volume orders, and keep your single head for small samples and one-off orders, these more personalized orders, so you don't have to turn off multiple heads on your multi-head to run a small order. So always having that combination is going to be super helpful. But if you do want to just trade in for a 2 or a 4 head, that's also available, just not highly recommended. I would always recommend to keep a single head and a 2 head and have a 2 head, or a single head and a 4 head. Those are going to be good combinations so that you can have a multi-head for bulk orders and a single head for small orders and samples for your customers. Awesome, great. Lastly, to Instagram, if we have any questions on Instagram here. Let me see, kind of scrolling back up. Okay. So, Royal Lab Production says, "Do you guys offer leasing?" So we don't lease per se. It's lease to own. Essentially, like, we have financing. So you pay a monthly payment, and at the end of the term, you own the machine. So there's not really kind of leasing per se, like renting it. Miss Miranda 42186 says, "Is the upgrade for Chroma only if you buy a machine this month?" Yes. So if you want to get the free upgrade to the next tier, it is with the purchase of a machine. However, if you already have a machine and you don't want to purchase another one, to take advantage of the extra license that's free for Chroma, you can also go to the flash sale and get 20% off on the Chroma upgrade. Scott Turner asks a great question here. Are most of the software with the products compatible with Mac or only PC? Great question there, Scott. So for our embroidery software, so for Chroma on the digitizing software, it is Mac and PC compatible. One of the only software on the market, I think one of like 2 software on the market that's compatible with Mac. So it is Mac native, so you don't need to run any parallel or anything like that to make it work. You can just install the Mac version on your Mac. For also the Luminaris 200, the RIP software there called Lumin RIP is also Mac compatible. So it's built on kind of a similar platform, and so you can also use Lumen RIP, which is needed for your as part of the RIP software for your white toner transfer printer. You can use that on a Mac as well, on a native standpoint. Extreme_image says, "Is RIcoma also having a Black November sale on DTG Inc.?" I don't believe so, or it might not be included as part of the RIC10 code on the flash sale, but it is something that you can stay tuned on. If we do ever have one, our customers will be the first to know. Okay. All right. Yeah, so Miss Miranda, do you guys have any deals to upgrade for Chroma? Yeah, so take advantage of the flash sale for the 20% if you're looking for that. Let's see what other questions we have. The Real King Shiesty Blue says, How much is a single head machine? So they range anywhere from the EM1010, the smallest single head machine we have, around $9,000, all the way to a kind of a commercial single head machine like the one that I have behind here, the 20 needle single head machine. That's gonna be around like $16,000. So and then there's probably 2 or 3 different options in between as well. You have the TC, that's around like 14,000 and change, close to 15,000. You have the MT, that's around a little bit over 15,000. You have the SWD 1501, that's around in the high 15,000, close to 16,000, and then you have this 20 needle MT series that's slightly over 16,000. So it just depends on what you need and the type of budget you have, but it can range from 9 to 16,000 on the single head machines. Get in touch with our team. They can explain all those options to you and then kind of help you through the financing and anything else that you might need, and therefore get you in on the Black November deals sooner rather than later, so you get the most savings. Okay. Scott Turner says, "Is the learning curve faster for DTG and Luminaris?" So, I mean, I would say they're pretty. With anything, you have to have a learning process. I would say it's the same with embroidery. With DTG, there's a little bit more maintenance involved. You do need to clean it every day. You need to shake your white ink and things like that. It automates some of the maintenance for you, like circulating the white ink if you leave your machine on, which it recommends you to do so that the ink doesn't clog. But if you do your part, the maintenance is pretty easy. Cleaning swapping your heads every once in a while, so that cleaning your cleaning station or your maintenance station. All of those are things that we will teach you during the training. So learning curve, I say, it's pretty much equal for any product. There's going to be software that you'll need to learn and how to operate. There's going to be machine that you need to know how to operate. There's going to be like processes of like knowing how to pre-treat or knowing kind of how to achieve the best print. What are the settings? Those are all things, whether it's embroidery or whether it's DTG or white toner transfer, you're going to have to learn the process. And all of them are going to have some sort of process. So make sure that you put your mind to it, and it's not rocket science. So you're definitely able to learn it. Even people that have no experience have learned it, but it does take effort. All right. I think those are pretty much it. There's also a question from J.Avi80 on how long is lead time for delivery. I answered that a little bit before. Probably about 2 to 3 weeks for things that are in stock. On the DTG machines, probably a little bit sooner. 4 to 5 day turnaround time. On things that are not in stock, it just depends on when they arrive. But our team has a queue of things that are kind of either on the water, like in at the port, or on a container that's coming in. Whatever the case is, they have a queue time for kind of when those are expected to arrive. The good thing is we can either ship from Miami or ship from California. So we have 2 warehouses where we're holding inventory, so we can get things to you at a much faster pace. Royal Lab Production says, "What are the costs of your 8 head and 6 head?" So off the top of my head, I know that the 6 head is in the high 30s, probably around like 37, 38,000. For the 8 head, it's probably around like 40. I want to say like close to in the high 40s. That's just off the top of my head. So I don't really know the prices off the top of my head. I would really speak with your sales rep. They would have a much clearer price sheet on what each model costs. And also there's the wide version and the regular version for the 6 head and 8 head, so they might differ about $2,000 in price. So I believe the 6 head wides are around like 38, 39,000, and the 6 head regular is probably around like 37,000. So that can give you a kind of a baseline for what to expect. And then the 8 head, probably in the low to mid 40s. All right. Great. Okay, so let me go back to Facebook a little bit. Okay. Answer some questions. There's some other questions here. How long is RIC20 discount valid? Again, it's 24 hours only. So 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow is when the codes expire. Jacob Molina asks, is RIcoma having any Black Friday deals? We're having beyond Black Friday deals. We're having Black November deals. So if you haven't checked that out or don't know the details of that, go back to the beginning of the video of this live stream. You can see it there, or I'll kind of recap it at the end of this video as well. Let's see here. Okay. Does a 10 needle machine, is that big enough to embroider the back of sweatshirts, or would it be very time consuming? The biggest hoop is 12 by 8 inches. So the back of sweatshirts, maybe depending on the size of the design, maybe could fit. But if you're looking at like jacket backs and back of hoodies and back of sweatshirts, it's really best to go with a commercial single head machine that's going to be 22 by 14 inches in the embroidery size. Impression Brand says, is there any 3-head machines available? Yes, there is. Or there should be several 3-head machines available. It's going to be the MT2003. So talk to your rep about that. Okay. All right, so here's a question from Patricia Ontiveros, which asks, what's the key or secret to running a successful embroidery business? Great question there, and I would probably break it down into several points here. I mean, there's so much to talk about in terms of how to run a successful business. But in general, I would say a couple of things. First and foremost, you want to make sure that you are running an efficient production flow, right? I always mention that in any business, you kind of have to get into a groove of what your process is going to be like. And that's going to be different for every business. It depends on your space, depends on kind of your personnel, depends on how you work and how efficient you work. But general rule of thumb is you kind of have to make sure that you run your business in a smooth enough way so that you can produce enough orders in a timely manner. And some of those efficiency tips could be, how to, just know your machine to minimize any thread breaks or any stoppages that might kind of waste time. How to kind of set up your threads or your different supply setup within reach so you can kind of access them at a moment's notice without having to run around and find stuff. How to set up your threads accordingly on your thread rack so that you get the most commonly used colors at the right places and minimize the color change from one color to the next. All of those are kind of different efficiency tips that can help you run a smooth production and keep your orders flowing, right? Once you're in that groove. So that's the first thing that I would mention, just how to get into a groove of running a smooth order flow, right? And then the other thing that I would mention is making sure that you probably want to have a variety of offerings. If you are just starting out, maybe focus on just one niche and one single vertical so that you can kind of master that industry or master that niche first. As an example, some people start out maybe focusing on like yachts and boats and doing stuff for that type of clientele. Some people focus on like schools, or some people focus on weddings or things like that, right? So focus on one vertical or one type of product, whether that be caps or jackets or whatever the case is. Focus on either an audience that you try to cater to or a specific type of product that you want to focus on to start out with, kind of your bread and butter. Then once you kind of master that vertical and have the capacity to expand more, start offering a variety of products. Maybe you can do patches, maybe you can do applique, or these different types of embroidery services to your customers, and maybe even beyond embroidery, right? Adding DTG or white toner transfer to your business, adding screen printing or sublimation to your business. All of those things are to expand your services and offerings and to help you become the one-stop shop for your customers, so that they not only come to you for embroidery, but they come to you for overall customization needs. And that's going to help you scale your business in the long run. But don't just start out doing everything under the sun. Start out doing one thing that you're really good at and try to master that, and then then go above and beyond and expand further once you kind of get your feet wet and mastering kind of one vertical. That's kind of how Amazon started, right? They started selling books, and then they sold everything that you can possibly imagine. But they didn't start out doing everything. They start out with just one vertical and master that first, so that you can have the track record and the experience to take on other offerings, and then become the one-stop shop and scale your business further. And then the last thing that I would mention is probably regarding your pricing. I think pricing is important for any business. Knowing your numbers, knowing your margins, right, and being able to price profitably is super important, because especially in the apparel decoration business, beyond just embroidery, this goes in general for all customization. It's a very kind of labor intensive and time consuming sort of work, right? You're doing personalization, you are setting up orders, you are actually decorating and manufacturing these type of apparel for your clients. So part of the cost is your labor. So knowing kind of what kind of time it takes and being compensated accordingly for that time is going to be super important to kind of know your margins and to price profitably, so you can scale in the long run. As a small business, you might not be as competitive because you might not have the right equipment or the right setup to compete with some of the larger brands that might have like multi-heads or tons of machinery, so they can pump out orders much faster, and therefore they can charge smaller on the smaller end for each individual item, right? So they can afford to have lower margins on individual items, but they make it up with volume. You might not be able to do that right off the bat if you're a small business starting out, but you could focus on other areas like personalization and other kind of really high value adding sort of orders where it's very customized, very personalized, and might take more time, but you have a huge margin. You might be doing something that could take you an hour or two, and you're only selling a couple of pieces, but you might be getting that thing for like you might be buying that blank for 10 or 20 bucks and able to sell it for like 100 to 150. So that margin is going to be like 80 to 90%, versus someone doing bulk orders. Each piece is not going to be like 80 to 90% margin. So you can still have ways to compete as a smaller business, but you got to kind of know your margins. You got to kind of know your numbers and how to price your items accordingly to justify and compensate for the time that it takes. Because let's face it, the blank material, the threads, and the ink and all of that stuff is minuscule. It's negligible compared overall to kind of the time that it took you to kind of put in the effort. So that's really kind of what you're being compensated on. And so charging for your time accordingly is probably the last thing that I would mention to run a successful business. I don't know how many people have kind of failed at that or have price themselves out of business because they either consistently undercharge, and therefore every order they're doing just not worth it, and then eventually the margin's not there to run a sustainable business, and they close down, or they price too high and they price themselves out of the market by not being competitive enough, right? So you kind of have to find a balance, and you have to really understand kind of what's the value of your time and how long it will take you to do certain things depending on your circumstance in order to price accordingly. So those are probably the three things I would say are probably the important things to keep in mind when running a successful custom apparel business in general. And if you implement those, you're probably well on your way to kind of becoming well versed in this industry and kind of scaling your business that way. So I hope that helps. All right. A couple of other questions here before we wrap up and announce also the winner for the Mighty Hoop starter kit. Debbie Jones asks, can we attend the machine training twice? I feel like I need another go around. Yep, you can absolutely attend it. You can attend it as many times as you want. Sign up for it in your customer portal, and you can attend there. Michelle Salazar asks, what's new for 2022? A lot of things. Probably a lot of things that I'm still planning and working on that we're not disclosing as of right now, but definitely stay tuned. Every year we always have something very exciting, whether it's new products, new services, whatever the case is. Every year we definitely try to go above and beyond. So 2022 definitely already have a lot of things in the works, and we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there. Debbie Jones asks, will there be another summit for 2022? Yes, absolutely. And as I mentioned before, it will be in Miami, Florida, probably around sometime this time next year. Okay. All right, I think those are all the questions that we had on Facebook. Okay. I'll answer kind of like one or two questions on YouTube and another one on Instagram, and then we can wrap things up and announce the winner of the Mighty Hoops, or rather the Mighty Hoops starter kit. So you get the Hoop Master as well as the Mighty Hoops. So one other question on YouTube. Let's see. So Bev Newcomer asked, are any of the 15 needles Wi-Fi capable? So yes, there is one 15 needle that is Wi-Fi capable. It is going to be the SWD 1501. All right, anything with the 8S panel is Wi-Fi compatible. So there's a 15 needle called SWD model that's going to be compatible for Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you'll have to get the 20 needle machine, which also has an 8S panel, which is why it's Wi-Fi compatible. Fabulous is 32 says on YouTube, if we had a major issue with our machine, how would we get it to you, or would you all send a technician to us? Great question. And the way that it will work is, first of all, we need to troubleshoot, right? We need to understand, is it are you having an issue kind of, making something work? Is a particular type of garment or particular type of setup? Maybe your tension is off, maybe your needles are off. Whatever the case is, we first troubleshoot over the phone and perhaps via video conference. Either we can do like FaceTime or on Android or on Google. We have different, on Skype. We have different channels that we can access to kind of get on a video conference with you to understand a little bit more about kind of what issue you're having and show us how your machine, what your machine is doing. Most of the cases, I would say, over 95% of the cases that we receive can easily be fixed over the phone or via a video conference. Maybe make some small adjustments there. Maybe your attention is not correct, and then we see that you're doing something wrong. We guide you. Our techs can guide you and get you back on track. All of that can be done via video conference. In the case where a repair is needed that is kind of beyond the scope of a video conference and needs to be more in depth, then yes, we would schedule a technician. We have technicians all over the U.S. that covers every major city and state. And depending on their schedule and availability, then we can schedule someone out to kind of make the on-site repair if needed. Very rarely would you need to have the machine back here. We don't really do any kind of the depot repairs. Now, with that said, a lot of other companies that I've seen, especially on the lower end ones, that's maybe a machine costs like $7,000-8,000, right, for a 15 needle machine. The reason why it's so cheap is obviously, one, they don't have the level of warranty and support that we do 7 days a week and after hours. The only one in the industry that's able to offer that. And two, I believe it says directly on their website, if you do need a repair, you need to send it back to them, and the shipping cost is on you. And it might be in their depot repair for, I don't know, a week or two, or maybe even months. And then they have to ship it back to you, and that shipping expense back to you is also at your own expense. So that can easily cost you, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in shipping and repair costs, and not to mention the downtime, right? So you kind of make up for the price that way, if you think about it, and that can add up very easily on just one depot repair. So that's something to think about and keep in mind. But I would say that yes, all of our machines, we have techs all over the place, not only from in-house here that we fly out, but also we have a network of certified techs throughout the regions that cover every major city and area, and then we can schedule them to go on site because they're trained on our machines. And that's if a on-site repair is needed. But like I said, 90 to 95% of the issues that we've seen are either tensions, maybe a setup is not correct, maybe something is not hooped correctly, and we can give you the right tools and the right adjustments to make to either via phone or video conference, or even just send you a video. There's many videos that we have shot for the most common questions and common errors that people have, and those can be easily kind of followed and get your machine up and running as soon as possible. All right, so I hope that helps. Okay, So I think that's it for our live part of this event and the Q&A. So we will go ahead and announce the winner for our Mighty Hoop Starter Kit. So thank you all for joining and participating. And for the Mighty Hoop Starter Kit. Actually, before I get into that, I do want to go back because someone did ask about kind of what's the Black Friday specials, or rather the Black November sales, and what kind of deals we actually have. So I want to kind of go back to that a bit and announce those first again for those of you that might have missed it, so that you take because I do want to mention that again because it is expiring, and the longer you wait, the less discounts you actually get for part of the sale. So just to recap. Instead of just Black Friday, we're having sales for the entire month of November. So we're calling it Black November sale. Okay, cash in on huge savings on our embroidery machines, which start at only $125 per month. Let's kind of pull that up and show you kind of the breakdown. As I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, everything is broken down into phases. Meaning, because we're having the sale for the entire month of November, we're incentivizing people to jump in earlier to get the largest savings and the largest discounts and the biggest value, either with add-ons or free upgrades or whatever the case is. Biggest value the sooner you get in. So you are controlling your own fate in terms of how much savings you get for this sale. So if you look at on the screen right now, you can see that during the month of November, the maximum savings are going to be earlier. You get $125 per month on the 0% financing on any on embroidery machine. That's it starts at $125 per month. That's for the EM1010, and you also get a free Chroma Plus upgrade with the purchase of a single head machine. So you normally get Chroma Inspire, which is the basic level of the Chroma digitizing software. You get Chroma Plus, which is the next level up. A free upgrade, a $1,300 value, absolutely free for any purchase of a single head machine, including EM1010, TC, MT, etc., etc. If you purchase a multi-head machine, you get Chroma Lux, which is the highest tier of embroidery software. That's a $2,000 value, included absolutely free. Again, only for the first phase of this promotion. When you get into the second phase and the last minute savings, it's going to be much less. You can see that even in the last minute savings, the prices are going to go up. It's going to go to $130 a month, and you're not getting those free upgrades and Chroma software. So you get free shipping across the board, but you don't get a lot of the perks and the free upgrades, and that can save you a lot more money, as well as lower prices on the machine. So get in early on the embroidery side. On the DTG side, okay, we are having a sale for $235 per month with 0% financing, plus free shipping. And for the first phase of the promotion, we're having an extra set of ink cartridges. Okay, so ink is the most consumable and supply for direct-to-garment printing. So we are including an extra set of ink cartridges. CMYK White 1 and White 2. So 6 extra ink cartridges. All right. If you purchase the RI2000, which is the bigger DTG printer that's faster, you get I believe 8 an extra set of 8 cartridges, CMYK, and then White 1, White 2, and White 3 and White 4. There's 4 white ink cartridges on the RI2000. So you get 8 extra ink cartridges on the RI2000. You get 6 extra ink cartridges on the RI1000 for the early bird savings. You also get cleaning cartridges, so that if you're looking to go on vacation after this holiday rush and you want to put your machine in storage mode, you're gonna have to have cleaning cartridges that it flushes out your lines and replace the ink cartridges with cleaning cartridges, so it keeps your lines flushed and clean and doesn't clog, right? And then when you come back, you can flush out the cleaning cartridges and then put in your CMYK cartridge and start printing. So we also give you the cleaning tools so that you can maintain your machine, like your cleaning applicators and so much more. So that's for the early bird savings. If you wait till last minute, some of those extra perks are going to go away, especially the extra set of ink cartridges and the cleaning supplies. All of that is easily about $800-900 of extra value there. You're also getting and one extra set of pre-treatment liquid. All right, so you can pre-treat on polyester and dark t-shirts. So you're getting that as part of the early bird savings as well, so that you're really kind of you get everything you need, not only on the printing side, on the supplies, but also on the cleaning and maintenance side. So you can really get started with DTG. All right, last but not least, on the Luminaris 200 white toner transfer printer, we are not only lowering the prices and lowering the monthly payment drastically. It used to be $95 per month, and now it's $70 per month. Okay, so we've extended the length of the term. It used to be, I believe, 48 months of 0% financing. Now it's 60 months of 0% financing, and we've lowered the prices. That's how you get from $95 a month to now $70 per month. But that's going to go up as well over the phases of the entire month. It's going to go to $73, and it's going to go to $76. So it's the prices are going to go up the longer you wait. So make sure that you are getting in touch with our team and getting in earlier, so that you can actually kind of save the most and not wait till later, so that you're losing out on some of those free savings there. So I hope that makes sense. Those are the 3 sales that we have going on. I just wanted to make sure we cover that. And then last but not least, we do have the flash sale going on for 24 hours. So for those of you that are just joining us, besides these 3, the embroidery machine sale, the DDG sale, and the white toner transfer printer sale that we have going on, we do have a flash sale for attendees on this live stream. Okay, so you guys are the first ones to hear about this. For the next 24 hours only, until 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, we are having a flash sale on shop.ricoma.com. All right, to buy any accessories, any add-ons. You can use the code RIC10. Okay, use the code RIC10 for 10% off any heat presses, vinyl cutters, and any sewing machines. Use the code RIC20 for chroma upgrades and embroidery accessories, such as the robot frame, the belt hoop, the 8-in-1 device, all of those things. You can use the code RIC20 for 20% off on the shop. All right, that's going to be directly on the shop. So go to shop.ricoma.com and get in on this flash sale, especially if you're looking to upgrade chroma and add on any accessories or buy any other heat presses or cutters to complement your business. This is the time to do so, because this is only going to last for 24 hours. This is as an extra perk that we're giving for people that are attending this live to hear about it first. All right. Okay. So that was a kind of a mouthful, but hopefully everyone kind of got that. If you missed some of that, go back to the video and we can watch it on the recording later. And now, last but not least, we're gonna announce the winner of the Mighty Hoops starter kit, which includes not only the Hoop Master Station, but also a 5.5 inch square Mighty Hoop that goes along with that. So you can use that for left chest polos. And hoop it more consistently. And the winner of this live stream for the starter kit is going to be Harriet Jones. Harriet Jones, my team has just told me that Harriet Jones is the winner of this live stream for the starter kit. Okay, so the starter kit will include the Hoop Master, as I mentioned, as well as the 5.5 inch square Mighty Hoop. So congrats to that. That's over a $540 value. So our team will get in touch with you, get your shipping information, and ship that out to you. Thanks to our sponsor over there at Mighty Hoops. That should greatly help you with any of your embroidery going forward. All right. Hope that helps. Thank you guys so much for joining, and really kind of encouraged to see a lot of the comments and questions that you guys have had. I hope that I answered most of them. Really great to kind of interact with you guys every single month to do this. I might do another one at the end of this month, so stay tuned for that. If you did miss this one or you joined late, make sure you check in on the next one. We'll probably be doing another big giveaway, so I'm probably looking to do that before the end of this month, because it is quite a big month for us for all these promos. So stay tuned for that. So if you missed this one, make sure to join in on the next one. I hope that helps. I hope I got a lot of your questions answered. You can go back and watch the recording on this if you did miss it. I hope that you guys implement a lot of the strategies and things that we mentioned about, and hopefully got all of your questions answered. Again, this is really meant to be very interactive for all of us. So hopefully you tune in next time and ask your questions and learn from your peers and all of these tips and tricks to help you grow your business. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining, and see you guys next time.